Hey friends! So in today's video we're going to talk about varnishing, and I'm not an expert in it, but we're going to learn together, or we're going to pretend to learn together. And how are we going to do that learning? It's called OJT, on the job training. So we're going to do it together and see what happens and hope for the best. Yay! I have watched a couple of videos about how to do this. So I have a couple paintings of low to medium importance that I want to varnish. I have a high gloss varnish that I was going to use. I have another painting I want to do that I'll do later, probably in another video, that I want to use more of a matte finish varnish for that one, I think. But either way, so if this is the order I think it is, this will have my varnish brush. Then we will have the varnish. I'm going to use the Gamvar gloss. And then I have a lint roller and a surface which is here to work on. So let's open up this guy and hope that this is my brush. Also, can I just say that I've been wearing this shirt forever. It's like virtually threadbare, but I love it. It's comfortable, and it's had this like tiny cute little pocket. And I'm like, what does anybody use it for? And look at this. The mic fits in there perfectly, and it was like made to go in there. So perfect. Oh, just kidding. My oil of Olay. It is not my brush, but I also need this. This is not an endorsement, no free ads, but also not my brush, so I'm gonna have to go get a brush standby. I had purchased a really fancy brush on Amazon, but it didn't come in today. I think it's coming in tomorrow, but that's too late because I'm doing the video tonight. So I just have a inexpensive bristle brush that I bought at my local hardware store. I've used a brush like this before for varnishing, so I'm just going to use it today. I have a bunch of them in the garage. So let's get started. So the first painting I'm going to varnish is this, I don't want to say self-portrait. Why was I going to say self-portrait? This is not me. Clearly this is not me, but this is a portrait I did of a woman at a class that I was taking. It wasn't a class, but so much is like, you go every week, they have a different live model, you can paint them. It was this woman's first time ever sitting for a portrait, and she really liked my painting and asked if she could buy it from me, and I said, no way, you're not buying it. I'm not giving it to you. Well, actually that's inaccurate. I said, you're not gonna buy it because I'm giving it to you. I still am not in a place where I feel comfortable selling my work. So I figure I'll give this to her, and as part of that, I'm gonna varnish it for her. The other painting I'm gonna do is Mahalo. So this is a cat. So this is a lady at the gym. This is her cat who I believe is 17, 16 years old, very old. And she asked me to do this painting because she'd seen another painting I had done for somebody else at the gym. And also she asked if she could buy a portrait, and I said, no way, you're not gonna buy it. Once again, because I don't feel comfortable selling my work yet, because I don't feel like I'm good enough yet. That's a video for another day. But I did say, if you buy the supplies, I'll paint the painting. This took a lot of time, was a giant fiasco. If you follow me on TikTok, you will have seen a lot of videos about this. The biggest thing came down to the whiskers. I had a really hard time with them, and so I did it. They're here, and it looks like a cat with whiskers. And so now we're gonna varnish Mahalo so I can give Mahalo to his owner. And so we'll start with these two and see how it goes today. Okay, so now we are on the work surface. So we'll start with Candria first. We'll start with a lint roller. The reason I do this is to get off any little like debris or anything that might still be left over on the painting. I have zero idea if this is archival accepted or not, but it's just what I'm gonna do. So just gonna lightly go over this. So if you're curious, this painting was one of my favorites from the class and that session that we did. It took about 2.5 hours. She was an absolutely fabulous model. Sat completely and totally still. I mean, unbelievably still the entire time. So it was very, very, very easy to paint her. So next up we have the gloss, the varnish. It's by Gamblin. Once again, not necessarily sponsored. I am using it because it is what is available at my local art store. I live in Hawaii, so the options here are pretty limited because there's not a really big art community, so we're kind of stuck with what we got. So I'm just gonna give this guy a little spinaroo to kind of mix her up a little bit, get any potential bubbles out without making bubbles. And then just to kind of get it going. And I pour a little bit on the brush itself, not the painting. I know a lot of people just go right in on the painting, but I try not to do that, so. And this way I use the minimal amount that I need. So just enough. Not too much, not too little. The proverbial Goldilocks situation. So I'm going back both ways. I don't know if you can see it, but I can kind of see the areas I've gotten covered or I haven't gotten covered. Also, I don't know if you can see the splash. That's probably just my junk technique and this brush. And this is also why I kind of do it on this board here. Actually, a lot of times I do this outside, but it was pretty windy and I didn't want anything to get on this canvas. So I decided to do it in the house. Because what's the point of rolling it dry? I'm sorry, rolling it lint free if we're just gonna leave it outside for leaves and bugs, etc., to get on it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So we're gonna move her over here so she can dry. And now we're gonna start with Mahalo. Hello, Mahalo. So for this one, it's kind of a funny story. And I don't know if it's funny, haha, but like, just funny. So this woman asked if I could do this portrait, and I was kind of hesitant because she was talking about her beloved cat, Mahalo, and how he was pretty sick and he only had a few months to live, and he was anticipated to live until about September. Mind you, it's June right now, and I took on this project in March. And she said, take your time, you know, give it a couple of months. Oh my God, I just realized I did this and I did not lint roll this. I just went straight in. But let's pretend that we did lint roll it. Because I see little debris on there. So I start working on this painting, and then partway through the project, she sends me this text message and tells me that Mahalo passed away unexpectedly, and that she, you know, is really now looking forward to this painting of him because he's gone. And I had tried to do this 2 or 3 different times. I definitely used 2 different canvases, trying to get the likeness. The one canvas I had initially was just soaking up the paints, so I ended up having to buy another canvas. It was kind of a big deal. And then it took probably about 9 hours to paint to try to get a likeness, because I really wanted to get this perfectly for her because Mahalo was dead, and she kept texting me like about how important this was, and it just really was very nerve-wracking for me. And then it came to the whiskers, and I was like, if I do these whiskers, I have the potential to ruin this whole entire painting and all the work that I did on it. And I actually struggled for a couple of days. I even thought about not doing it, like just leaving him without whiskers, which would be like super weird because whiskers are such a key prominent feature on a cat. And I kind of talked to my TikTok community, and they encouraged me to do it, gave me a couple techniques about how to do it, and I did it, and it was a giant success. And now Mahalo has whiskers. The painting is complete. We are varnished, and I can give this painting to her so she can hold the memorial service for her beloved cat, which is going to be pretty awesome. We've officially varnished 2 paintings. On the first one I showed you good technique. The second one I completely forgot to lint roll it, and I had to pick off some stuff as we went along, but I'm not charging people for these prints, and I'm not a professional. I'm a total amateur noob who's learning to be a professional painter. And this is how we do it when we're learning. We learn together. OJT, on the job training. So we just did some training. So I'm gonna let these dry for about a week or so, and then I will hand them off to their new owners and hope that they like them. If you like this video, of course, like it. If you want to see more like this, comment below. What did you think about my technique? Is there any supplies or anything that you use in particular that you find helpful when you varnish? Do you prefer glossy varnish over a matte finish varnish? Do you have a particular brush that you like to use? A brand of varnish? A way to do it? Insights, critiques, all of that, much appreciated. Of course, subscribe and follow. I'll have more videos coming out in the future. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. And happy painting. Have a great day. I can't tell. Am I on focus? This is what happens when you get a noob behind the camera. Hello. Camera. Recognize me.